What is going on, guys? It's Modded Warfare here. Welcome back to another PS4 jailbreak news update video. So got a pretty big piece of news here that's dropped over the past 24 hours, and that is the fact that TheFlow and Cturt have both reported exploits or vulnerabilities to Sony through the HackerOne bug bounty program from PlayStation. Now, if you're not familiar with this, just to recap, I've covered it in previous update videos, but this whole bug bounty program on HackerOne by PlayStation, it's basically a system where hackers can report vulnerabilities to Sony, vulnerabilities in, PlayStation Network and the PS4 and the PS5, and they can receive bounties from Sony. Sony will fix the bug, silently fix the bug, and depending on the severity of the bug, they will award a bounty to the hacker that first reported it. And as you can see, for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4, any high priority bugs can get up to $10,000 worth of bounty. Now, if we go into the hacktivity, you can see that TheFlow did receive $10,000. So we know it's a high severity bug in either the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And TheFlow is the one who gave us previous exploits back in the past. So for example, if we scroll down, you can see that TheFlow himself basically resulted in us getting our 7.02 jailbreak, which was this one right here, use after free. This one was fully disclosed, so TheFlow reported this to Sony, and it was fully disclosed eventually after he requested disclosure. A few months later, we got the full report, and we were able to get a jailbreak from that. The second time he did it resulted in the 7.55 jailbreak, where he reported this vulnerability to Sony, the double free, and this resulted in it being disclosed only partially. So again, TheFlow requested disclosure, and it was after about 6 months. It took a bit longer. It was eventually disclosed by Sony, but not fully disclosed, just partially disclosed, just a general summary of the bug. But it was enough of a disclosure for, other hackers in the scene like Slayers Gorvy and people like Spectre Dev actually were able to figure out how to implement this. So that is what's happened in the past, and now we have this other $10,000 bounty from TheFlow. So this is a pretty big deal because in every other case where TheFlow has reported a kernel exploit to Sony, he has requested disclosure. So based on that track record, we can hopefully assume that he will request disclosure again for this one as well, assuming this is a PlayStation 4 vulnerability. There is a chance it could be for the PlayStation 5, mainly because he was the one not long ago, about a month ago, to actually successfully exploit the PS5. He posted a screenshot of it here. I covered it in one of my previous update videos. I'll have them linked in the cards in the top right hand corner and down in the video description. So that happened about a month ago. So this report that he's given to Sony here, this could be for that vulnerability in the PlayStation 5. However, he did tweet not long ago, about a week ago, hashtag 900, which could indicate that this bug is actually a 9.00 vulnerability in the PS4, not the PS5. So, and the other interesting thing is the fact that we also have this other report from Cturt. Now, we don't know exactly what bounty he received for this, or if he even received a bounty for it. He probably did receive a bounty, because if you look further down, he had this other report 3 months ago, which did say $10,000, but now the $10,000 has been removed from the report, which could just mean that he's enabled some kind of privacy setting on his account, which stops the public from viewing what bounties he receives. So that's possible. So he may have received a decent bounty for this as well. Now, the interesting thing about these two reports is that, for one, this has probably been patched in 9.03. So definitely don't update to 9.03 if you want to jailbreak. I said that in my previous update video, mainly because even though these reports are just showing up now in the hacktivity section, they were probably reported to Sony a few weeks ago, because it takes a few weeks for them to actually appear here. Once they get closed, they kind of appear in the hacktivity section. So while they were open, they could have been open for like 2 or 3 weeks, even a month ago. 9.03 only came out last week, so Sony will have known about these vulnerabilities before they released 9.03. So they would have patched that in 9.03 more than likely. So definitely don't update. If you want to jailbreak, stay on 9.00, don't go any higher. I mean, it's even indicated here by TheFlow, 9.00. yeah, that's what we have right now. The other interesting thing about these reports is that they both came out around the same time, and they were, or at least they were both closed around the same time, 23 hours ago, 24 hours ago. Could indicate that, you know, these are just different vulnerabilities. They were both patched in 9.03, so Sony closed the reports because, you know, Cturt and TheFlow will have confirmed that, yeah, these vulnerabilities have been fixed in 9.03, and that's why they've been closed now. Of course, it could indicate that these might actually be similar vulnerabilities. I believe Cturt and TheFlow know each other, maybe friends. So, you know, it's likely that these two vulnerabilities could actually be, maybe one of them, like Cturt, might have been a PS5 vulnerability and TheFlow might have been a PS4 vulnerability. And they may have both been kind of the same vulnerability that just works on PS4 and PS5, but, you know, a different implementation to get it working on the PS4 versus the PS5. And therefore they're separate reports, one for the PS4, one for the PS5, and they may have both received bounties for it, because even though it may be the same kind of vulnerability, and usually it's only the first person who reports the vulnerability that gets the bounty. However, if, you know, the implementation's different enough, and because it's on different systems, PS4 and PS5, they may have both received a bounty respectively. So that's possible as well. Although I do believe TheFlow's report's probably for the PS4 based on his tweet, hashtag 900. So it's possible that Cturt may have actually reported a PS5 vulnerability because he did receive a PS5 a while back. He did an update saying that after he received his initial $10,000 bounty for the report he did 3 months ago down here, PlayStation basically sent him a PS5 console so he could actually, you know, attempt to exploit that system for the bounty program as well. So that could be what we're seeing here with this new report, could be for the PS5. But again, that's just speculation. We don't know until something actually comes out. So also remember that TheFlow said he had no plans for disclosure of the PS5 exploit. Okay, so there are a couple of things that worry me about the whole bug bounty program right now. The first thing is that the first time TheFlow requested disclosure, Sony honored that full disclosure. It resulted in a jailbreak pretty quickly. The second time, though, he requested disclosure, it took longer. It took like 6 months for it to get disclosed, and then it was only disclosed partially. So it's like they're trying to prevent, you know, even jailbreaks on these older firmwares by only disclosing it partially. But it still resulted in a jailbreak. So they may be even more reluctant now to disclose than they were before. So that's one thing that worries me. The other thing that worries me is if the vulnerability in the PS5, the thing that resulted in this exploit from TheFlow for the PS5 that's in private, if that vulnerability is the same as a vulnerability for 9.00 in the PS4 or any firmware version for the PS4, then it's possible that they're not going to want to allow a PS4 exploit to be disclosed, because if the vulnerability is the same in the PS4 as it is in the PS5, then, you know, disclosing that vulnerability in the PS4 could lead people to try and implement that same vulnerability on the PS5 and get a PS5 jailbreak, which obviously Sony really is going to want to avoid, even on older firmwares for the PS5 right now, because again, it's their hot new system. They don't want that to be jailbroken right now. Yeah, they're definitely going to try and keep tabs on that as much as possible, keep that under wraps. And if a PS4 exploit could lead to a PS5 exploit because the vulnerability exists on both systems, then they're going to try and keep the PS4 exploits under wraps as well. So those are my concerns. They may be unfounded, of course. Again, it's my own opinions, my own speculation. Could be totally wrong about that. Absolutely. So take everything with a grain of salt, as you should. Look at other videos, look at what other people are saying, see what their opinions are. Don't just go by what I'm saying. So anyway, point is that that is one thing that's going on right now. We'll have to wait and see. Although I don't think this is necessarily related to this big thing that people have been talking about, this stuff that's been going on in the scene, where prominent people in the scene have been talking about something big coming, something coming on a Saturday, could be Christmas Day, could be New Year's Day. You know, there's all of these kind of hype building for something that a lot of people are speculating is most likely going to be a kernel exploit for the PS4 on a higher firmware, maybe 9.00. The question is this what they were talking about? The TheFlow's report bug bounty program? Is this the big thing that people were talking about? Well, I don't think so, because it's not coming soon. You know, even if TheFlow has already requested disclosure of this bug, or Cturt maybe has requested disclosure of this bug, or it's not going to be disclosed for like another 3 to 6 months most likely. So that can't be this big thing that's coming soon. Of course, it could be this original Cturt report here that was closed 3 months ago. If Cturt requested disclosure of that back when he reported it, then it's possible that any time from now and the next couple of months, it could be disclosed. So that's a possibility, but it's more likely that maybe somebody has a private jailbreak somewhere for the PS4 and is just planning to release it, and it's not related to anything that's going on here in the bug bounty program. That's a possibility. I think there probably is something substantial behind this whole big thing coming soon. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm thinking if there is something big coming soon, it's either going to be probably the end of December or early January, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And of course, if that fails, we have TheFlow, who will hopefully have requested disclosure, in which case within 3 to 6 months, we will hopefully see this be disclosed. So we'll hope. And then again, Cturt, we don't know if he'll request disclosure or not, because we've got 2 potential vulnerabilities that were reported by Cturt, and you know, he's not got a track record on HackerOne anyway of requesting disclosure, because we don't know yet if he requested disclosure for this one. But he has released a jailbreak for the PS4 in the past, the original 1.76 jailbreak, so it's possible he has requested disclosure. So it's, anyway, the good thing is this is good news at the end of the day. You know, we've got TheFlow has another report on HackerOne. That's a big deal, could result in a jailbreak. We've got 2 potential exploits reported by Cturt. Potential, I say potential. We don't know exactly if they are kernel exploits or not, but it's likely. And then we have this supposed big thing coming soon, and all these rumors building up here in the scene. The rumors have never been more active than they are now at this point, than probably any other time in the past. So I'm definitely keeping my fingers crossed that something's going to come out soon. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys an update on that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video.